Hello everyone, welcome back to Bobbin's Minecraft Let's Play series featuring the Infinity Evolved Skyblock mod pack. This is episode 26, and today we're going to set up a wither grinder. But before we do, let me go ahead and clear up something I misstated in the previous episode. In the previous episode with these big reactors, I said that you couldn't simultaneously fuel them with both yellorium and plutonium. That actually isn't true. They don't care what fuel you put in them. They all just count as fuel. But I will say that when you go and try to keep them filled, it's more convenient to keep them filled if you have one running yellorium and the other one running plutonium. And the reason for that is you don't get completely backed up to where your reactor isn't accepting one fuel until you've completely exhausted the supply of the other one, just because of the logistics of how the items work. Bit my tongue there. Anyway, at this point, I've finished building out the second reactor. This one is fully fueled. It's not running right now because I really don't need as much power as even one of these provides. The other one is 17% fueled based on the times that I have been running it. What I've done is I've gone and moved the solar panel over here, and that supplies 4,096 RF per tick. This capacitor is currently being drained at 3,500 and some per tick. It's at night. That's my actual power consumption that's being drawn through the Tesseract, which is actually most of the base at this point. There are still a few places that are not using it. Most notably, the place with the mass fab is still running entirely on Industrial Craft 2 reactors, and it will continue to do so. Most of the rest of the base is running from this, though, and so since this generates 12,000 per tick, and I'm only using 4,000, obviously I don't need to run it full time. And I've just been turning it on whenever the capacitor gets close to empty, letting the capacitor fill up and then turning it back off. At the moment, that's a manual process. I'm probably not going to automate it because I do anticipate sometime soon I'm really going to ramp up my power usage, and when I do that, I'll probably need both of these reactors running full time. So let's go deal with the wither grinder. I have created a chest full of supplies over here ready to take to the nether. Let me just pick that up and we'll take a quick trip to the nether. So here we are in the nether. Let me come over here to the wither grinding area, or the wither spawner. And the first thing we're going to need to do is, I'll just put this chest down here for the moment. I'm going to need to build out the platform a little bit. And the materials to do that are in another chest over by the nether gate. So let me get them. I'm going to just build it out with cobblestone. Initially, I might change it to obsidian underneath at some point, but at least to start with, it's just going to be cobblestone. Let me see if I've got enough. Let me go ahead and make some more covers here, just so that I will definitely have enough. I think 2 stacks of covers will probably be sufficient because I'm not going to build a huge platform for it. I don't need to. Alright. So coming back out this way, I want to build out just a little bit beyond the edge of this. In fact, probably go a little further out here to give us some walking space. And then come over here and get the builder's wand out. And I think that's probably going to be good enough. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay, go ahead and cover this up, and I'll be back when I get all the covers placed. This just takes some time. Alright, I got all my covers placed. Let's talk about how this wither spawner and grinder works. There are two pieces of it. There's the spawner, and then there's what's going to be just a box. It's the kill chamber. And the spawner is right here. I've showed it to you before. Whenever a redstone signal comes onto this line right here, and I've just got a lever for the moment, but I will change it to a timer. Whenever the redstone signal activates this machine, it puts out soul sand on the bottom and wither skeleton skulls on the top. A wither will spawn at that point, and then it begins doing its power-up sequence. And while it's doing its power-up, it's falling. And when it falls onto this translocation plate, it will get zapped forward by a certain amount, and the amount is controllable by going and using a multimeter here and shift clicking on the plate. So let's do that because I want to move it forward. Right now I think it's going the maximum distance, which is 16 blocks. We'll be able to see that in a minute. I want to send it forward about 8 blocks. So 16, 8. Now we can test and see where this is actually going to go in a couple of ways. One way is to throw an item on the plate here. So it got translocated over to right there, which should indicate this spot right here. The other way is to, it's actually kind of funny. Let me put a block there so you can see it more clearly. If I come and hover over this thing, we can see the particles. And it looks like it's actually 1 block further back than I had predicted from the tossed item. So right there. And we can actually count these. So the location of the plate does not count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is where it's going to send the wither. Now, the reason for building this out of cobblestone is I actually want to give it a little more room to fall so that when it translocates, there's no chance of it not being able to fit in that location and popping outside the box. I just don't want that to happen, and I don't have to be that precise with it. So let's come over here, and this is going to have to be 3 wide on the inside to accommodate the wither, plus the dimensions of the box itself, which the outside dimensions will basically make it 3 by 5. Alright, so there's our foundation for the box, but I'm going to replace these blocks in the bottom here with this reinforced obsidian, which is witherproof. So this is what we're going to send the wither into for the kill. And I just need to build up this box so that it's tall enough to accommodate a wither. I'm going to go ahead and make the interior 5 blocks high. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 6th one for the roof. So this is the frame of the box. Now, in some other videos where I've seen a very similar one seen, typically you see one where the wither falls to the bottom. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use this translocation plate to send it straight into a fully enclosed box. But in some of them you see dark iron bars used because supposedly the wither cannot destroy the dark iron bars. I can guarantee you in this mod pack that the wither can destroy dark iron bars. So we're just going to go ahead and completely enclose it this way. So there we go. We used less than a stack and a half of the reinforced obsidian, which isn't really all that expensive a material, except that it requires a fair amount of reinforced stone that if you're doing it manually can take quite a while to dig up. So unless you want to set up some sort of automation for Industrial Craft 2 reinforced stone, then you'd like to minimize the amount of it you use. And I will just go ahead and say I did not set up an automation for that. Looks like I do need to secure the roof. So I need 3 more pieces. So this box is now fully enclosed. Let's come over here and we just use another piece of cobblestone. And I am going to put down the mob grinder right there. This mob grinder is the one from Draconic Evolution. It took, I want to say, about 5 nether stars to construct, as well as about a whole stack of draconium, and it's a pretty expensive item. Now, this thing will kill through a solid wall, so we're good on that. If I hold down Shift and right click it, we can see the region that it will kill in, which is actually quite a bit bigger than our box. I don't know exactly what the dimensions of that are, probably about, looks like it might be 9 by 9, and I don't know how high it is, but it definitely goes a little bit below the machine itself. This machine can be fueled by either solid fuel or by RF. I'll be fueling it by RF. So the next thing I'm going to need is some way to collect the loot, and for the moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and collect the loot in this chest that I brought. We'll just put that right there. And I'm going to use a transfer node which will collect loot through walls. And I'm just going to put in a bunch of world interaction upgrades. I don't need 6 of them, I'm pretty sure, but just put a whole bunch in there just to be safe, so that if stuff gets scattered around somehow, it will still be able to pick it up. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is I have to have some power. And I did bring a tesseract to provide power. Let's go ahead and put that I'll put it right here. You know, I'm not sure that I really want to put it right there. Let's not put it there. Let's because I need to provide power to more than just the grinder. I need to provide power to this whole arrangement over here. So let me go ahead and put the tesseract right there. And I'm going to hook this up to main storage low power, which is another tesseract that's sitting in the base that just ships things. It's connected up to a redstone conduit or a power conduit that's the type I'm using. It's the high-end power conduit from Ender.io, so it gets that much power, but it doesn't get as much power as main power, because main power is connected directly to a capacitor bank. So that's why it's low power. It's not really all that low. It's quite a bit, but it's not intended for things that are just going to drink up huge amounts of power. This also connects up to an interface, so it's able to go straight into the AE system. Alright, so with that, let's come over here and hook up some energy conduits, and I'll just hook them up like this. Alright, so we should be getting power, and we're not yet because I bet I didn't configure this thing to receive power. This one is going to receive energy, it's not going to do anything with liquids, and it's going to send items. We'll just hook it up on that channel. Should be getting energy now, and we can see it spinning, so it's fully charged. Okay, so before I hook up the items, I'm going to test this and make sure that it works. Actually, I can go ahead and hook up the items. I'm just not going to export from the chest yet. Let me go ahead and do that. And I don't think I need to put those items in there. We'll just put them here. And we'll connect this up so that it is inserting items on this end. And put that down there. It will be extracting here, but I'm not going to activate the signal just yet. Let me go ahead and put these items in here, and there's a possibility, I don't think it's very likely, but it might spawn a wither when I put the skulls in there. Let's see what this, I think that's dark, not lit. We'll see. If it's dark, then it shouldn't spawn a wither, but okay, it's actually not going to, because we're not putting out the soul sand. At least I don't think it's going to. Alright. So this will take and distribute all these materials. So it's going to be a little while before it gets to the skulls. Let me move some up to the beginning here. Or maybe put them there. Okay. So it's distributing skulls. These things are on... The Ender IO conduits are on round robin so that it will distribute them around quite a bit. This actually should be ready to go. So to test it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to flip the lever once each way. We have a wither. We never even saw it before it got moved over into the box. And boom, dead wither. And here in the box we got another star, a miniature yellow heart, a division sigil, and a rare shader grab bag. Was there some other item that I got before from the wither killing it by hand? I don't know, but the key item that we need is the nether star. This other stuff is just nice, I guess. But it apparently does work. Nothing damaged. Hopefully not underneath either. Nope. No damage whatsoever. So it worked. We never even saw the wither there, but it definitely worked. Okay. So the next thing to do is to come over here and remove that. And I'm going to go ahead and put the lever down right here and turn it on so that when I place the timer it doesn't start immediately. So let's put the timer down. Nothing happening. So let me go and set the timer interval to, I'll just set it to 20 seconds. So once every 20 seconds, as long as it's got the necessary materials, it should spawn a wither. And let's try that out. So I can just activate it by flipping the lever. I'm going to put covers on top of this to make sure that mobs can't spawn here. I don't think it will. It won't spawn on the timer, but I think they might spawn on the lever. Alright, so we'll just back up over here so we can see what's going on. And we're about halfway there. And there we go. Done. Alright, so the only thing left to do is to go ahead and move out of the way, because I think that I can get hit by the wither when it blows up. The explosion isn't going to break any blocks or anything, but I think it will still affect a player standing outside. So let's go ahead and activate this and send all that stuff back to the base. Now the only piece still left that I need to remember to do is I need to come over here and make sure this chunk is loaded. So let me claim the chunks that contain this spawner. Probably don't need that one. And go ahead and load them. I don't think I need that one either. Alright. And this actually looks like it would go very fast and generate lots of nether stars for me. Unfortunately, I don't have a big supply of wither skeleton skulls. One of the pieces that I'm still going to have to work on is I'm going to have to get wither skeleton skulls produced a little faster than I'm doing it right now, because I'm going to need probably at least hundreds and maybe even thousands of nether stars before this is all said and done. And I can't get that at the slow pace that I'm generating wither skeleton skulls at the moment. But we've got a good start here, and it looks like this is ready. Now, I do have one other thing to show you that we'll go ahead and do in the overworld as soon as I get there, so I will see you there. Okay, I've actually been over to the AE system and verified that nether stars are coming in nicely. I had 10 of them when I checked, and it was incrementing as things went along. So even though I'm not in the nether right now, the grinder is merrily going along and killing withers on my behalf. Now what I want to do is, you'll notice I've got this sort of ring-shaped structure of silverwood here. There's no real significance to the ring, except that it was basically a platform that was built around this node here that was in the middle of a silverwood tree, and I've been using it to grow mana beans. These are mana beans that have the taint aspect on them, and I'm just trying to get some taint so that I can actually start doing something a little creepier in Thaumcraft pretty soon. But I want to move this node, and to do that I don't actually have the node stabilizer set up yet, so since I haven't crafted that yet, I'm not ready to actually go and set up the node in its location. But I do want to move it and then maybe grow another tree here at some point when I get done with these mana beans. So to do that, I'm going to use the node in a jar feature of Thaumcraft. So I need to completely enclose this thing in glass. And coming along nicely there. And then on top of the glass, I want to go ahead and put a layer of wooden slabs. This is basically making a giant model of a jar, and it's not entirely clear what's going on because it's captured inside this big ring. Then I need to zap it with my wand, When I do that, I have to have at least 75 mana in the wand, and it will take, and this glass will shrink, and it will leave a jar that I can break, and the jar will contain the node. Now, I did want to go ahead and mention this wand. This wand is a Thaumium-based Infernal wand that holds 150 of each aspect. It's a very nice wand. The other thing that it will do is and I just thought of what I was not getting from the Wither. The other thing that it will do is that it protects you from the withering effect. Now, you can't make this one without killing the Wither first because it requires Pride Shards, which is that item that I wasn't getting. And Pride Shards will be dropped by the Wither if you kill the Wither in the Nether. That's one of the reasons that it's set up over there. But anyway, it's a very nice wand. I highly recommend getting it because it has a huge capacity. But if we come over here and zap this, assuming that I made it correctly, there we go. Then we can see that that node has been captured here. And I can just break the jar and collect it. And I can't learn anything from it, but we can see what aspects it has in it. Aqua, Herba, Ordo, and Perditio. So that's a convenient way to gather up some nodes. If you've probably noticed this before, but I've been down at the bottom of the world and made some little platforms where nodes are. There are a bunch of them down here. They're just little tiny platforms with a torch on them to keep them lit so that mobs don't spawn there. And I will probably be going and collecting up several of those nodes and bringing them up here and start trying to coalesce my nodes. I would like actually to have them all in a pure node. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I'll have to probably grow several trees and coalesce some of them before any of them will be able to steal any aspects from other ones. But when you put two nodes close together, they want to merge. And there are ways of controlling the process using node stabilizers and advanced node stabilizers, and I'll probably do that and try to build a big node. You're actually better off usually having a bunch of smaller nodes, but I want to go ahead and build one big one because of space limitations. So that is today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and do the usual subscribe, like, and share. That would be helpful in getting more traffic to this channel. But until then, until I see you next time, thanks for watching.